Can't get you account.
No. Okay. I asked for this, right?
Good morning, Facebook. Good morning,
Good
Facebook.
morning, good morning, good morning, Facebook.
Good morning.
Welcome to Martine and Asha Malivers session, Mommy and Daughter Tings Part 2. Please, 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 as always, bring open hearts, open minds, and you'll need pen and paper today. Good morning, Zoom. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Good morning.
Introduce yourself, lady. Who is you?
Good morning. My name is Asha Malivers. I'm her daughter.
Yes. The chosen one, the only one and done. God won't give you more than you can bear. That's what they say. Good morning, Purple. Hey, guys. What else we got up in here? I saw Valencia. Good morning, Valencia. Valencia, where's Lucy? I forgot to call you guys. Get Lucy up in here. Good morning, Omena, Adam, Lori, Marilyn.
Good morning, Martine. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning, Z. Great to see you. I've been Bola, Marie. Welcome, everybody.
Good morning, peace and blessings.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, together, we're learning, discerning, we're striving. Together, together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together, together.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Woo family. Martine Lissa Malivers here, change maker. Hello. With my daughter, Asha Rachelle Malivers.
Hi, good morning.
You know what she's doing right now?
Could you get on the Woo session? Hello.
So this is Asha Rachelle Malivers, artist, singer, dancer, disobedient child, aspiring psychiatric nurse practitioner, future Prairie View University alumni, and change maker.
Hello. Could you get on the Woo session?
And we're gonna show this slide later, Kenyofu. What she's doing right now is calling her godfather, as she was instructed to do 2 days ago, to invite him to the session.
You can't hear me.
We'll text him. Say hello.
Hi.
Do you want to get beat on Zoom live? Woo? Okay. Okay, guys. So this session is entitled Mommy and Daughter Tings, Part 2. In Part 1, we went over a lot, probably tried to take on too much. So one thing I'm going to ask of the community this time is for all of us, I included, because one thing that I noticed is Asha's voice was not as heard as it's supposed to be. Shawnee says, perfect way to start the session. Oh, child, these children, I'm telling you, we're gonna learn how to communicate with them. We're going to learn how different our perspectives are, and just bet I'm by far not an expert. I just have experience under my belt. And I would like to share our ugliest moments with you all as to prevent them from happening to you. If you can prevent them. I know one thing that I've always said as a caretaker, because remember, I don't know if you guys remember me telling you last time, I've been taking care of children since I was 12. And one thing that I always noticed is no matter what you pour into a child, no matter how good they are, they're going to have that moment of
Looks like we lost Martine and Asha.
Well, what we can do in the meantime, Kinyofu, is hear from some folks who are parenting, co-parenting, raising daughters. So I see some of you in this space. I see Omena, like drop it in the chat if you are a mother of a daughter. I'm a mother of 2 daughters, one living and one deceased. But my deceased daughter is like always all up in my business. So I feel like she's right here every day. But if you're a mother of a daughter, please drop that in. Valencia, 1 daughter. I'm a mother of a daughter. Oh, Mena, yes, yes, yes. Azza, Alexia, yes. Kennedy. Let's see. Girl moms, Niger. What's your baby girl's, your 15-year-old's name, Niger? I'm sorry. I would call her name if I knew it. My bad. I should know her name.
Good morning. It's Jordan.
Jordan. Oh my gosh. I feel like I don't remember ever hearing that. Stepmother Marilyn Perez. Yes. Kinyofu, 1 daughter. Yes. And Veronica as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Abimbola, a 44-year-old daughter named tell us what her name is. I don't want to jack that up.
Nanyamka.
Nanyamka, very pretty. All righty, here comes Martine Omena, and we've had a tough moment 2 days ago. Thank you for sharing, Omena. And Zakia, mother of a daughter and grandmother of 4 girls. Yes, ages 7, 10, 10. Oh, twins? 13, or 2 of your children had babies at the same time in the same year. Omena said, actually having a therapy session after this. Thank you for your transparency, Omena. And I forgot to say, yeah, I'm a Kyo for you too. I'm a grandmother of a granddaughter, Anari. I know Kinyoko has a grandbaby girl too. All righty, Martine, you and Asha back. So as they get prepped, we can't hear you though.
You can't hear us?
Oh, there you go. All right, beautiful.
I had to so excuse us.
If she looks so well put together after getting beat up.
Get it together real quick.
Yeah, we were just asking folks in the space who has daughters, stepdaughters, they're co-parenting daughters, like whatever the daughter situation is. And a lot of folks are dropping that in the chat. So welcome back, y'all. Take it away.
Good. All right. So again, this session is it aims to troubleshoot for some things, but also just in general to improve the mother-daughter relationship. As time advances, things change. A lot of things change, and we want to kind of get back to the roots of the strong mother-daughter relationship. So where we left you guys last, what I was attempting to do, and we went on a lot of tangents and kind of got a little off course, is I tried to demonstrate the environment that existed inside and outside of the womb when Asha was conceived, because I feel like that is a very, very, very important part of parenting. Very, very important part that sometimes we don't consider. We don't consider creating the space for, bringing these babies in. And so I shared with you guys this mindset I was in, the fact that I was single. I had just broken up with my boyfriend, then found out I was pregnant. I wasn't financially stable. I mean, I've always been about securing my bag way before that was a thing. But you know, it's one thing when you're able to support yourself, is the whole other thing when you're bringing a baby into the world. So I was not financially stable. I had a very bleak outlook on romantic relationships. So two-parent household, that was out of the window. Just trying to set the stage for you guys to see what Asha was born into. One thing that I realized just logging on here also, another thing I realized is I had a strained relationship with my mother at the time and for many, many, many years. And I also didn't have a really good example of a healthy mother-daughter relationship. Definitely not as an example from my mother, because my grandmother passed away when I was 7 months old. So I never knew my grandmother, my maternal grandmother. I met my paternal grandmother when I was 16. So I didn't really have a good living example of what a healthy mother-daughter relationship was. And my thought was, this baby is going to come into this world and she's going to be mine. Well, because that was another dynamic. I swore I was having a boy and I really wanted a boy. He's going to give me all the love that I haven't received. So I'm just wondering if anybody can relate. And let's get a share from one person who has a burning share. Not necessarily relate to the exact dynamics that I spoke of, but somebody who can share their environment at the time that they got pregnant. If, you know, and that also too, if I would describe mine as toxic, but if yours was a good environment, let's hear why. Anybody?
Amanda put in the chat that she can relate, and Nigel also. Nigel, we haven't heard from you. Love to hear from you. Love to hear your voice.
Absolutely, Nigel. How are you? I haven't seen you in forever.
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
I'm moving in the car. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. So I just dropped my 15-year-old off at band camp or band practice. So she's not here. I wish she were here. But anyway, my daughter is my third child. When I found out with her, I, like you, Martine, had recently broken up with my boyfriend at the time, her father, and we did not know that I was pregnant until I think a month after we had broken up and he had moved out of our place. And during my pregnancy, I felt really good about my pregnancy because, you know, we had wanted another child and this would have been our second child together. And so I was preparing. I also thought that I was having a boy because I had 2 boys before, even though I wanted a girl. And so when I found that I was having a girl, I was really, really excited. But I do recall being kind of indifferent about her dad during my entire pregnancy because we had, you know, broken up and there was no plans for reconciliation. So I was very indifferent and dismissive of him. And I believe what you said about the environment in which your child is growing inside of you. And my daughter has this way of being very dismissive and detached in her relationships to others, but she also has a way of doing that with me, which hurts me to my core because I am not dismissive with her. But I understand that was the juice that she was soaking in during my pregnancy. And so, yeah, it's painful, but it makes sense that is, you know, part of who she is, because that's what she was cooking in. And I'm complete.
Did you ever think about that before now?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I've recognized it before.
Yeah.
I recognized it. You know, and almost from when she was born, she was my most independent baby. So she didn't like to sit on my lap. She didn't want me to do anything for her. She would say before she could even talk, I do it. I do it. Like, I couldn't put her shoes on because she wanted to do it. And even now, you know, like, I love to do things with her. And she's like, no, I want to do it with my friends. I'm like, what about us? So yeah, I've definitely noticed it before now.
And you know, so a lot of it could be the juice, like you said, but there's a lot of things too that are just natural developmental stages and phases and milestones that we're totally unaware of. The general public, lay people, just not aware of. And I asked you if you ever thought about this before, and this question is for all of you mothers here too, because I know that I took very seriously that I was about to have a child, as seriously as I could, right? And I took all these classes and I made sure that it was natural, and nobody, and I think up until today, I've never heard of anybody offer this way of thinking to a woman who is pregnant or wants a child even. It's not something that we take seriously enough or address. What environment are you creating for this child? Not only the physical living environment, but the emotional and the spiritual environment. So I say all that to say that it wasn't a good one that Asha was born into. And no matter how conscious I was of my own shortcomings, the fact that her father was not a part of her life, and no matter what I tried to do to make a better environment for her, those outliers were still there. Not only outliers, I mean things that were just in your face, they were still there, and there were things that I never even thought about addressing. And as she was developing and growing, and of course young and impressionable, so was I. So, you know, I was still finding myself. I was still doing a lot of transformational work. And that wasn't fair to her because it surely did affect her. So this is something I really want to implement into prenatal care. Just being conscious of that and making sure that a mother is mentally fit, because once that child, I mean, I remember wanting Asha so bad, and then when she got here, I was like, this thing is sucking the very life out of me. Like, there were times when I felt like it's me against her, and I'm not talking about now, because yeah, I feel like that now. We all feel like that now, but I mean, even from when she was a baby, even breastfeeding, I'm like, just take it all then. And then when she's able to feed herself, she wants to eat everything off my plate. I couldn't eat, like, just little things like that, you know, we don't take seriously enough. That definitely plays into how, of course, the nurturing of the child, and then how the mother-daughter relationship grows. And I'm saying mother-daughter because I have a daughter, but this applies to our sons also. So let's get into it. Where we left off, I was sending Asha to New York, and I know that Sweetness had questioned that decision. Like, what is that? Is that a punishment? What is that about? And I'm going to tell you what they say, you know, that say monkey see, monkey do. You do, like when they say, for instance, if you're a little boy and you watched your father beat your mother, no matter how much you hated him for it and how wrong you think it is, there's a percentage that you may do the same, right? And I never really subscribed to that until it happened to me, and especially with this situation. And what I found that I don't hear people say is that, and I'm talking about my situation specifically, I sent Asha to her father because I didn't know what else to do. Like, I was really at a loss in that moment. I didn't know what else to do. And so my brain attached to what I'm familiar with. And this is from what I heard people say, what I saw on TV. You going to your daddy, right? And that's what I did. And I'm going to let Asha take it from here. I know we need to go back a little bit and give some context to JoJo, the phone. And let's start with, okay, because I definitely didn't want to make this session about cell phones, but the cell phone, it was a major issue in our relationship, and it's a major issue in America because these kids are addicted to the phone, and it's something that Asha is still working through because some days she can't even admit it about herself. But you got your first phone at what age?
When I was 8.
Can you guys hear her? Closer and moving this
When
way.
I got my first phone when I was 8.
When you were 8? When you were 8? Oh no, when did you get your first smartphone?
Oh, like elementary school, like 5th grade, 12th grade. I don't really remember.
Okay, and that you used the phone to tell us about your relationship with the phone through stages and social media.
Whenever I first got my phone, like in 5th grade in elementary school, like I just used it for like communication purposes only, mainly because it was like a small Android. I couldn't really do much on it. And I didn't like want social media. Well, I did want social media, but she told me that I couldn't get Instagram until I was 11. So I had like an iPod and I would do like my social media, like Snapchat and Instagram on there and all that stuff. But still, I didn't really like care about social media. I wasn't really posting. I wasn't like looking for likes, looking for comments. I didn't really care what people thought. Like I still was using it like communication wise. And then I got my first iPhone when I was about to go to 8th grade. And that's when I really started posting and caring about like likes and stuff like that. But it still wasn't a big deal until I got to high school, until my freshman year. That's when like social media really became a big part of my life.
Who gave you your first iPhone?
Your ex-boyfriend, my father figure.
Okay, so that's important too. One thing I definitely learned on this journey that I would do differently is have a backbone and say no to certain gifts. The iPhone and the Build-A-Bear, especially. If any mom on here, especially single mom, already struggling, has your daughter's been gifted a Build-A-Bear. They get you that Build-A-Bear at the basic or most elaborate stage, but then you have to clothe the Build-A-Bear.
Oh,
You got to buy it. All these little like it's not right. Another thing, American Girl doll. Y'all wrong for this. Y'all are wrong for this. I need for you to be more considerate with your gift giving, okay? You can't give this child a gift that I have to maintain for the rest of, no, it's not right. And the iPhone is definitely one of those things. I cracked my screen for the 90th time, another $100. And then I don't know how it would have panned out, because when I tell you all the kids had iPhones, like you had to have an iPhone. And then they didn't care if it was like the very first iPhone ever made, as long as it was an iPhone. But I think that was part of the addiction also. Another thing that she's working through, because I know she's readily able to admit that, but it had to be an iPhone. I remember days when, even if her phone was broken, she would have to go to school with an Android, and she didn't want to whip the Android out. That's pressure. And I had a conversation with her the day before yesterday, and she's still not able to recognize it as pressure. If you can't pull your phone out to make a phone call your mother, call a friend because you're embarrassed about it being an Android, that's pressure. So these kids are going through a lot that we just don't consider. Okay, so high school, social media now. Now, let me put in there that she was the golden child from kindergarten to 8th grade daycare. Everybody always loved Asha. She was always a teacher's favorite. She was very popular in that sense. Very caring towards her friends and classmates. And I mean, she got recognized for this. And then high school happened. What changed?
It was like a different environment. Like the people, they were different. They acted different. Like, you know, like the people at my school, they were like ghetto. So like I wanted to be like them. Like I wanted to be like ghetto. You know, people would
What
call
does that
me.
mean? They were ghetto.
Right. You know how I told you,
Come on
like,
here embarrassing me.
no, well, you know how I told you that people, like, they call me like white girl and stuff like that.
Okay, well,
'cause the
say
way that
that.
I talk and stuff like that. Okay, sorry, not ghetto. I know, sorry. How else do I describe it?
Come off camera again.
How else do I describe
All right,
it?
well, just let them, for lack
No,
of,
there's nothing wrong with being ghetto. I'm not saying it in a negative
'cause
light.
you are
That's
ghetto.
yeah, that's just how I'm describing it.
but they made fun of
yeah,
you.
they
Give
would
it
make
some
fun of me. They
background
would,
so you
like,
don't
call
sound
me.
judgmental.
They would call me like white girl. They would, like, talk about how I talk. They'd be like, "Why do you talk like that?" Blah blah blah. And, like, all the other girls at my school, like, they were, like, more, like, developed than me, like, in the body and stuff like that. Like, I just wanted to, like, fit in, be like everybody else. Like, I was tired of being like the golden child. Like, I wanted to be like everybody else. So I started, like, posting different, talking different, acting different. I wanted to dress different. Like, I was trying to fit in.
Why do you think you spoke differently?
I don't
You
know.
grew up with these people. Did you ever think about that?
No, I don't know why. Why do you think?
So Asha was born in the Bronx, New York, in the ghetto. And you know, that was a wonderful experience for me because I grew up in Rockland County, not the ghetto, a quite affluent neighborhood. Like Rosie O'Donnell lives over there. Tom Hanks, I could throw a stone to one of his houses. But I was poor. And it was just a crazy, crazy experience. Like, just imagine being poor in a town full of rich people. We had, like, I don't know if it truly is a project development, but we called it the projects. Definitely not projects like in the boroughs, but an apartment building that was low income, right smack in the building, in the middle of rich people. And we coexisted. And of course, I encountered racism and classism and all that stuff, but it was a pretty nice upbringing. And sometimes now I always say, oh, I want to go back to Nyack. That's where I grew up, Nyack, New York. But I did a 7-year stint in the Bronx, and boy, did that open my eyes and help me to really, really, really appreciate my upbringing. I remember I was in jeopardy of not graduating high school. I was very intelligent, but I was going through a lot and I was very defiant. And I almost didn't graduate. And I remember how that was looked upon. Like, I was like dirt because of that. And I moved into a building where only one child graduated high school, and she wasn't even going to college. Two. One was going to college and the other wasn't. So it was another world for me. And again, this is the environment that she was born into. So it was really, really important for me to keep Asha cultured. And even the kids in the Bronx, I used to take them all the time to Rockland County. I had them in programs. And so, of course, I was going to do that for my daughter. So you went to the YMCA over here in Katy. You were in acting classes.
Yeah, I remember that. But, like, I'll tell you, I was uncomfortable because all the white people.
And as hood as I am, I tried to speak proper English. And so this was very important to me to instill in her. She was reading at 3 years old. I don't know how she spoke the way that she did, but she definitely stuck out like a sore thumb, and it started to matter in 9th grade. So go ahead.
No, I don't.
So social media.
Oh, like, hey, what did I say the other day? Like, I would just like I would post stuff to fit in, post stuff that obviously like my mom wouldn't approve of. And it was just all to fit in. And I cared so much about what people thought. Like, I cared about the comments, I cared about the likes. Like, it was totally different from 8th grade. Like, whenever I would post in 8th grade, like, I was teasing and stuff, cute Douglas. But then whenever I got to like 9th grade, I'm sticking my tongue out, I'm lifting my shirt up, I'm trying to show my butt. Like, like, I'm trying to fit in with the rest of the people.
So what was the transition? Like, what did your phone and social media start to mean to you as opposed to when you were in elementary school?
It was like
middle school.
It was like more than like communication. Like, it was like a popularity thing. Like,
Okay, so you transitioned from using the phone for communication to building a status for yourself, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you say any more about that?
No.
What about boys?
Oh yeah, sorry. I started to care about boys in high school too, because like it's not like I never had like a crush on people or like boys in elementary school, but like I never like wanted to like go through it there. Like I never wanted to have a boyfriend, and I wasn't allowed to date. Like even like in 6th grade, I remember like I liked the boy. Well, I liked the boy, and then like you were like, oh, I wasn't allowed to date. So like I told him, I was like, oh, like I'm not allowed to date. But whenever I got to high school, I did not care about her approval. I was okay if I want a boyfriend, then I'm have a boyfriend. Like all that stuff, it started mattering like more to me.
So Shawnee has a question for you. She asked if you felt comfortable. Do you feel comfortable when you're doing those things? Did it feel forced or did it feel natural to you?
I don't want to use the word force because I feel like that's extreme, but like I definitely knew that it wasn't me. Like, or like when I first started doing it, well, still it's not me, but like it wasn't me. Like I knew that wasn't me. I knew that I was like putting on a facade or like I was trying to fit in because I wouldn't have, if I was truly being myself, I wouldn't have been posting that way and doing the stuff that I was doing.
So if it didn't feel forced, do you think that this became like one of your personas?
Yeah, I guess you could say that because I'm only saying force because like I wanted to do it. Like I wanted to be like everybody else. Like I didn't feel forced. I just like, I wanted to. So yeah, it became like another part of me, I guess.
Yeah, and I soon found out that I was dealing with two different people, Asha and Asha.
Ew, there's nothing to do.
Like at home, she's the sweetest kid. I am a sailor. You guys know this, right? I have a gutter mouth. This child does not curse in front of me. I don't even know how. I look at it as such a blessing because it lets me know she has an ounce of respect left for me, but I don't know how that happened, especially now. I encourage her to express herself freely, but she doesn't want to curse. And why is that what you chose to do? You literally are two different people. You're one person when you're here in this house, and also we live with my parents. It's been about 4 years now that we've been with my parents. So there's that dynamic too. I of course, being Haitian, expect her to act differently in front of her grandparents. But what was that about?
It was because like the same way that I have an expectation at school, I have an expectation at home. So it's two expectations, actress, double life. I know how to cater to both of them. I know when I'm at home, I still gotta bring the same grades. I still gotta be respectful to you. I still gotta act a certain way. And then when I get in front of the people that I thought really mattered, that's how I would act.
So during this time, I'm going through my own transition. I became a nurse, something I never thought I would do. I was struggling to find a job that I was happy with. I went into this field because I was like, okay, this is going to have so much structure, right? What my life was, I don't want to say what my life was lacking because I didn't have structure. I was a free spirit. I used to do contract work. I would get paid for a month and not paid for 6 months. So I had to spread that money out. And I did it. I wasn't struggling at all. But, after having a child, after realizing that I wasn't going to get any support from her dad, I didn't get any support from her dad. I had to do something differently. So I went into nursing because I felt that was a short shot. Everybody in my family is a nurse. They've been trying to get me to be a nurse forever. That's guaranteed income. That's security. And it's a discipline. Like, I don't have to be an actress, which is what I did at a lot of jobs. Fake it till you make it type of stuff. Make it my own. I was able to be very creative. Don't do it this way, do it that way. I was really innovative. I did well in different fields, but in nursing, this is medicine. You have to do it this way. You can deviate a little bit, but for the most part, you have to do it this way. That was my thought until I got into nursing. And I was working jobs where they were telling me to go on YouTube because they weren't training me. That I was supposed to, learn how to change a dressing by watching a YouTube video. And it was just crazy. And I was really depressed. And just questioning, I did all this. Like, I'm telling you, I was in the hospital 3 times behind nursing school. If anybody, I know we have nurses on here, nursing school ain't no punk. Like, I still can't believe that that's something that's like, it's one of my favorite accomplishments. Definitely a major feat. And so I started to lose touch. I definitely was checking Asha's phone all the time. I definitely noticed her, trying to validate her hood card. And I didn't think of that as a bad thing. I feel like I'm very balanced in that sense, and that she should be as well. But there was so many things that I was missing. And those random phone checks, and I don't know if you guys have heard me say this before, I'm a firm believer in the random phone check. I don't believe in that private. I am a Black mama. Ain't no closed doors. If I want to come in, I'm coming in. You be lucky if you get a little knock. But I was too caught up in myself to be on top of what Asha was doing. So when is the first time that you remember that you got your phone taken away, that you were just about to die? And do you remember what happened?
Whenever you took it for a year.
No, you don't remember anything before that? I took your phone for a year, Asha.
You took it freshman year and you gave it back to me COVID year. What you gonna call it? Well, I never felt like I was about to die because I always got it back. Whenever you would take my phone, I would just have to put it in the kitchen for the night and I would get it back in the morning. And I didn't have like control over it, but I could take it in the morning by myself. Like I didn't have to ask you. Like that was the first time that you ever took my phone for that long.
Did you have no phone?
No, I had some dingy Android.
Oh, so like, how was that taking your phone for a year? So your iPhone.
Because we just talked about
your iPhone?
Yes.
Oh, so it's not like, okay, studio audience, it's not like she didn't have a phone at all. The iPhone was taken away. Okay. And that was for a year? When was that?
That was, you took it freshman year and then you gave it back to me.
What did you get it
quarantine.
taken away for?
Because I still have a picture, can I show it to them?
Yeah, I guess.
I posted a picture with my shirt up, and then one of my family members had my Instagram and they snitched. They sent it to her. And then also my bio said foreign hoe in it. And she found out about that too.
Hoe.
But it's not like that. She thought I was calling myself a foreign hoe, but I was just telling these girls, like, I'm foreign hoe. Like, you're not foreign. It doesn't make it better.
So yeah, she got it. I'm very strict.
And
that might not look like anything to y'all. Can you guys see it? Show it again.
It's like a glare. Oh, there you go.
But one of my rules was keep your tongue in your mouth when you're posting social media. No midriff pictures, no cleavage. You're not even supposed to be wearing spaghetti straps. I was very, very particular about that. And so there'd be times when I did do the phone checks, I would find that she was abusing my rules and I would take the phone away. I want to check in with you guys at this point. Is there anything in the chat, Kenyofu, that we should be addressing?
Well, there's definitely conversation of paralleling some of the things you're sharing. So let me start from the bottom and go up. And Darnice in Facebook says, the share about middle school was spot on. Raising a son seemed easier. There's no hormonal shifts, which I also think is a contributing factor in possible mother-daughter conflict. And Imani says she's learning. Jacqueline, okay, responding, hold on a moment. No. Okay, so there's continuing conversations. Purple says she had to stop following her sister on social media when she shared her other side. There's a conversation around Bronx and whether or not it's ghetto. And
what are they saying about the Bronx?
Oh boy. So Jacqueline says, I love growing up in the Bronx. I grew up in a house and my neighborhood was very similar to suburban life. There was no public transportation to my area. Class and point in the Sound View section. I grew up in the immigrant areas, from tenements to house to private buildings. We never saw the Bronx as ghetto.
Yeah, so
And-
she grew up where I got my Jamaican food from. We was like in the 200s somewhere, Jackie. I was on 182nd and Morris.
No. No. The 200 is where my mother's family lived, and that was a lot like the suburban areas, but that was definitely an immigrant area, West Indians all over the place. Now it's Africans and West Indians. But I grew up a little lower in the part of the Bronx that you would consider to be dangerous if you were not from there. So Soundview area of the Bronx, Bronx River Projects, Monroe Projects, Soundview Projects. We didn't grow up in the projects, but I did wind up living in Monroe Projects at some point in my latter years as a teenager. But we grew up in a house all the way down at the point, and the bus wouldn't even run down there after 7 o'clock. So we were kind of separated from the rest of the folks. But, and my mother forbid us to go into the projects when we were younger. But as soon as I became a teenager, the projects is where I stayed. It was like, I had to run down, because that's where the music was. That's where the party was. That's where everybody was. And I was never afraid. I never grew up afraid, but people who visit were afraid. Now, I didn't like to go to Brooklyn, but I did, because I wasn't from there, but I was scared of Brooklyn at certain parts, New Lots Avenue, you know, all of that kind of stuff. I had friends there, but I considered that more ghetto than where I grew up. And then if you're not in the South Bronx and the West Bronx, the North and the East are different. They're more suburban.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I loved it.
Bougie Bronxonite, stand up. Noel, I see you, Park Chester. Child, I was on 182nd and Morris Avenue between Jerome and the Grand Concourse, if anybody knows. All right, they were dropping mattresses on the police officers over there, okay? So no disrespect at all. Like I said, that was like the best.
Oh, no, absolutely
7
not.
years of my life.
I taught in the South Bronx. I taught in the South Bronx over there by 160. Actually, that's where my mother first lived, 163rd Street and Union Avenue. That was a tenement. But at the time, because it was the 60s, it was Jewish people, Polish people, Italian. It was a mix. And all these people coming in from other places. It was just immigrant neighborhood. And we all, like, you could go to the store and get stuff and put it on your parents' account. You didn't have to have money, because your parents went there every week when they got paid and paid the bill, or paid part of the bill. It was like food on layaway, but it's really crazy. Clothes on layaway too, all of that. And but the thing was, it was like everybody knew everybody. It's not like that anymore. Now they got people that they just keep moving from borough to borough and putting in these projects, you know, people who are transient that don't have any kind of foundation in the neighborhood. So it's very dangerous now, because people don't know each other and they're living on top of each other in 20, 24 stories of a building, and they don't know their neighbor. You don't know who you're living with. I knew who I was living with. I'm still friends. Matter of fact, we got a reunion coming up this Saturday, you know, going down. So yeah, and I hope I don't get shot. Now let me stop. I'm only kidding.
Big girl. All right, can you put anything else? Thank you, Jackie. Oh man, the memories. I go back to the Bronx in my mind so many times when I need peace. Imagine that.
Yeah, so there's a little bit more about the Bronx, but more so in the line of what you all are saying, that there's this other side. And I was typing in the chat, but I'll share that. A Brooklyn girl here was afraid of the Bronx, thought that was like, just from stories, that it was definitely ghetto. Visited a friend in the Bronx, in South Bronx, and was like, oh my gosh, I'm not safe here. Didn't really feel like I was safe. But when I was working, at later time, walking, visiting homes, I noticed the different neighborhoods, and it was very shocking and impressive to me. And that's my piece on the Bronx.
Yeah.
So yeah, more and more Bronx. I think you want to come back to to the topic.
Yes.
But everybody is caught up in neighborhood. All right, so what do we see? Okay, so Sauda from Facebook says, I contracted with my kids when they got their phone. Random phone checks are part of the contract. When my daughter went away to college, that's when I stopped checking. Her password has been the same since she was 12. My son is 13, so he still gets random checks.
I'll be like, phone check. Ooh, and she knows what's coming. Yes. Somebody said that I saw their daughter blocks them.
Right. Darnice, I'm there now. Darnice says her daughter blocked me often, so I can't see, monitor, or comment.
Yeah, that's what you have the moles for. You got to get an army. She'd be like, how do you know that? Don't worry about all that. Don't worry about all that. Okay, so let's move on. So boys, I started to ask you about boys.
Which one was that? Oh,
Let's segue into JoJo.
I got my first boyfriend in 9th grade, but I started dating JoJo when I was a junior. It was during quarantine.
And we have, like somebody else mentioned, the hormones. There's so many things and changes going on. But then when you get that the first love and you start smelling yourself, it's a whole other thing. So how did life change after JoJo? And this is also too coming, we had just started coming out from the pandemic, right?
Yeah. Like, how did life change? After or during?
During. Why you were with JoJo?
I don't know how to explain it. Like, wait, what do you want me to say? I don't know.
Your relationship with him.
Like, explain it?
Yeah. How did he make you feel? What's so great about JoJo?
It made me feel really good because, like, the last person that I was with, I got cheated on, and he wasn't like nice to me. Like, whenever I was talking to JoJo, he was always like saying like nice things about me. Like, he always just like knew what to say, and like I wasn't used to that, so that really got me. And then like I always would like call him my twin because like everything about us was like the same. Like we liked the same things, like we thought the same way. And then like he was like the outlet for me. Like I could like rant to him about stuff. Like my mom, that's why I ranted to him about a lot. And then sexual stuff.
I actually like JoJo. He's one of my favorites, and they did have a very strong bond. But one of the things that I didn't like, and it was off of doing a random phone check, is like I used to sit and read their text and be like, they gonna plot against their parents and kill them. Like, this is how it starts. They would just be so, tell them.
What should I call it? Okay, whenever I get mad at my mom, like I would never like call her like mom. Like I would not refer to her as mom. I would call her by her first name. So I'd be like, guess what Martine did today? Martine done pissed me off again, blah, blah, blah. I would call her a crybaby. Like I would just like drag her. I would be really like mean to her, to him.
And what about him? How did you guys?
Oh yeah, he had problems with his dad too. So he would like do the same thing. Like we would just both be dragging our parents.
I mean, just disgusting stuff. And it's like, you know, remember, I have two people I'm dealing with, and I don't even really know it. I know it to a point, but not to this extent. And there were just things that she felt about me that I didn't know that she felt about, or she would act like she was okay with a certain situation when she really wasn't. Like from going through these texts, I found out that she was being two people, but I also questioned why. Why is it that you felt like you had to lie to me about so many things, especially your feelings?
Because I would be afraid of how you was gonna react, or like I just didn't want to get in trouble. But it was mainly because I was afraid of how you would react. I didn't want you to get mad at me, or like I didn't want to start like an argument. Look at what Miss Shawnee said. You was no joke.
What does that mean, Shawnee?
Are we going there today?
Please.
Well, you shared, like, you could go from 0 to 100. And that tongue, and I'm saying this because my sister myself, as much as we have command over words, I would say, and can be eloquent and inspiring, if triggered or in a not grounded space, that tongue can become a sword and lacerate people, places, and things. And so I can understand, shoot, adults get intimidated by me. So I can understand how a young person, especially my children, because I think there's more of an unfiltered expression, or at least when they were younger, definitely an unfiltered expression of my upsets, my desires, my expectations. But trying to navigate with someone who is like this in their communication, Asha, I don't sleep on you either because you're savvy too, but you had a model for it. So just thinking about like where your rage, and I'm very, very specific about my words, your rage can take you if approached at a time where it may not be good for you, or finding out something that you really, really are upset with, you go in. And so I can see how Asha would think that the best course of action is to lie, lie, lie until there's absolutely no space to lie anymore. And I'm complete.
And thank you for your perception. Absolutely, Shawnee, we're not holding nothing back today, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Now, what I want you guys to know is I know this about myself. I don't, like Shawnee said, I get it from friends, family. So imagine a child who I have this much authority over, right? But the delusion that I was experiencing is, okay, well, you should know, maybe I can understand when it has to do with things about your behavior, or you need to tell me the truth about something bad that you did. But what about your feelings? Like I didn't think that transcended into being able to just express yourself. So what is there any difference between you being afraid of what I'm going to say, how I'm going to react? Do you see a line between you telling me something about something wrong that you did and you telling me your authentic feelings about something? That doesn't necessarily, is not going to put you in trouble. If I said, hey, Asha, do you want to get ice cream? Sometimes you wouldn't want to get ice cream, but you would lie and say you want to get ice cream.
I just be scared of your reaction. And then like you will always be like, oh, well, like how would you know how I was gonna react if you never talk about your feelings? But like it's not even that. It's like how I've seen you react to other things or how you reacted to other people. I would just be scary. I just didn't.
So you see what I'm saying? She blanketed it when I expected her to be able to differentiate. If it's something simple that has nothing to do with you getting in trouble, why can't you communicate that to me? Especially because I'm big on communication and I've always left those doors open. And I think that as a child, Asha has told me a lot more than the average child would tell her parents. So there was kind of some confusion there. And I just want to offer that to you guys because sometimes we don't see what we do to hinder communication, authentic communication with our kids. Okay, we're approaching the 7 o'clock hour, 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And I know some of you have to leave. And I thank you so much for being here with us for part 2 of Mommy and Daughter Tings. If you have to go, have a great day. I know admin is going to drop my contact information in the chat. Get with me, watch the playback, and just enjoy your day. Have a great week.
Bye. Have a good day.
So yeah, later on, I want to really offer you guys some things because, and again, it's not because I'm an expert, it's because one thing that I had to do throughout this journey is definitely take a dose of my medicine, because what the advice I would always offer parents as a caregiver and a caregiver of their children, when I watched how children operated in their household, I always went to, because again, I don't know if you guys remember me saying last session, I've always criticized parenting starting with my parents. It's something I was always conscious of from a young age. And one thing that I will always tell them is, you're only going to get what you pour in. And that's not always going to look like a tit for tat or 1 for 1. And so that's something that I really had to stop, look in the mirror and say to myself. So where we going with this now? So she's in this relationship with JoJo. What all were you doing? All right. Let's talk about, where did we say we're gonna go? The wedding. So my brother got married in the midst of COVID. I was in Houston with my parents, and I was stressed. I really should have declined the invitation to my brother's wedding. But how do you do that? How do you not attend your brother's wedding? We're in like the heart of COVID. He's having a wedding. I have to get my parents vaccinated. We have to get vaccinated. My mom has to pick out a dress. That's a whole other session. I was stressed. And we get to New York, and what happens? This is the first time that I would say I felt like I was losing control of my child. So let's start with the day of the wedding, Asha.
So me, everybody knows this about me. I'm always on time. You tell me that I need to be ready for something by 6, I'm ready by 5:30. Like, I'm always on time. Like, you don't have to worry about that about me. Everybody else in that house just going cuckoo crazy. And since I'm the only one that's ready, everybody's calling me, I should do this, I should do that, I should help me with this, I should help me with that. So I was already irritated from the morning because I don't like being late. I don't like when other people make me late. And I really don't like to be called on. Like, I like to help people, but like, I just not in that manner. So I was already irritated. And then what happened? The key thing that happened today.
Well, we don't have to get into all that, but so at this point too, what is your perception of me? What is your perception of your life? What up until this point?
We have been like going through it already, but like things were like okay, like we weren't like, hating.
Well, they're always, explosions, and then they're okay. But like, what is your perception of your life at that time?
I was tired of BS. Like, I was tired.
I was tired of the BS. What's the BS?
Like being treated like
you get beat after this,
No, stop. Okay. I felt like I was getting treated like a baby because like I wanted to be grown, so I felt like I was getting treated like a baby. I was tired of like being called selfish. Like, I was tired of like arguing all the time. Like, I was just tired. Like, I was like fed up. Like, everything that we have been like going through, I was tired of the up down. I just tired. Like, even though like I was acting like I was okay, or like we was acting like everything was good, everything was not good. There was always something like under there.
Okay, so we're in the house, we're getting ready. What about me? What am I going through at that time?
I don't remember what.
I don't remember. Who was managing everything?
Oh, you.
And what about the time? Kept changing the time on us.
Oh yeah.
I'm never on time. So, and it's something, it's so crazy. I got to a point where I started to be able to be on time for things. And I was really working out my time management, but my brother's wedding was a shit show. Let's just put it out there. It was a shit show. I was really, really stressed out. I lost the keys to my vehicle and everybody got caught up looking for the key. We were really late. We get to the wedding and I have like pin curls in my hair because I was so busy taking care of everybody else. I hadn't taken care of myself. And everybody was standing for a group picture. And it was just so crazy because I remember I was in front, I'm facing the family and they're taking a picture. And I'm like, this is perfect. I shouldn't even be in this picture. And I know one thing, I helped everybody get ready, hair, makeup, and everything. And I asked of my daughter, my sis, and my 2 sisters, can y'all help me get this swoop together? And the cameraman was like, come on, we got to go now. And they're looking between me, the cameraman. They have to make a choice. Me, the cameraman, and they choose the cameraman. And it was Asha and I left. And I asked you, what did I ask you for?
A comb.
A comb. And how did you respond to me? Oh, you don't remember? Those very ugly. I don't know where the comb is. And I snapped. And I was like, I'm not going to be in the picture. And now I'm crying and literally 2 pink curls like this. And then, but the bride's family, not the whole family, it was just the parents, right? The bride's parents were there and they're like, and the mom came over to me and she's like, come on, don't do that. You know how you like, all right, I got this much coof left in me, this much act right left in me. And I'm literally in those pictures with my hair like this and tears in my eyes, like, and I'm telling you, that broke my spirit. What happened to you?
That was like a manic episode. Like I don't
It was a
remember
manic
anything.
episode.
I don't remember
describing it
anything.
as. So this is, and I'm really about to cry now because this may seem so small, but it is how my life goes with my family. I was so, and you know, we make up stories, right? But I'm telling you, this is like my legacy in this family. I take care of y'all. I bend over backwards for y'all, and y'all cannot do one little thing for me. And in this instance, you value the cameraman over me. Seems like a small thing, but I'm telling you, the dynamics. And so I was embarrassed. And I was embarrassed also too, because it's like what they always say, what they always end up saying, Martine always has to make it about her. And the one thing I was conscious of and trying not to do, especially because my brother has all these misconceptions, the one thing I was trying to avoid at this wedding was not making it about me. And here it is about me. And after they execute me and I'm like crawling, right? I'm being very dramatic right now, right? This is how I feel. That's now when they realize, oh, we should have did something different. And everybody's like, oh, I'm so sorry, Martine. I'm so sorry, Martine, including her. And I shooed you away. And then what happened?
That's when I blew up, because like how I brought up how I was already irritated from the morning. Like I wanted to be in the picture too. Like I was kind of fighting too, like cameraman or my mom. And like I just wanted her to like hurry up and get ready. And I didn't know where the comb was. And I was just already irritated that, you know, I lashed out on her. And I did feel bad about it. So I thought it would have been easy to just like apologize to you and say sorry. But
because I'm always supposed to snap back.
I wanted her to just bounce back on my time, but she was obviously not ready, and that hurt my feelings. Like it didn't even hurt my feelings, like it just made me mad because, you know, she gave me back the same energy that I gave her, and it made me mad. So then I lashed out too.
And when she says manic episode, it's so manic. And there's been times ever since Asha was 3 where she just has this rage, and I was like, oh my God. And I said, oh my God, because I'm looking at myself. And she, I mean, nobody could console her. She's cursing. This is a child who I'm telling you, I've rarely heard, if she curses, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, I don't curse. That's how you know I was mad. I don't.
My dad and my sister were trying to, you know, calm her and touch her. And she's like, get the fuck off me. It was a scene. So now embarrassment through the roof. And this, I feel like, was a really, really, really pivotal moment in our relationship. And I definitely could relate to it because it's the time where you are not afraid to show your mother your whole ass. Just no holds barred. Anything that you tried to hide, it just is all out. And then she gave me this look. And she described the look as fear. Do you know what I'm talking about? Can we be honest today? Because I took that look as, woman, I will stab you in your throat. Okay. And yeah, that's when things changed between us. So she's dating this guy, and of course she comes home, and I'm sure she tells him all about that. And you know, Asha, up until this point, I would definitely consider a well-behaved kid in comparison to everybody else's kid. But one thing people know about me, I don't care about everybody else's kids. I only care about mine. And there's like, I need you to be at least here. And Asha was like here. And it was with a lot of different things. And one of the things that drove me crazy about Asha is her, what Naja was talking about too, her dismissiveness. And it also showed up in like, if I ask her to do something, If I ask Asha to bring back 3 things, she's gonna bring back 2. Asha's always half listening to me. It's like there's no respect or regard for my word. And this shows up a lot in ordering me food, because I don't like to order food. Asha always orders my food. And she always gets the order wrong. And there was this once, it just was like the straw that broke the camel's back, because again, these things may seem like little things, but I'm already an overthinker, and I'm definitely going to think of what is the motivation behind these things. It's like, I don't care about what you're saying right now. And it took her a long time to admit that. We're going to tell you about the chicken incident. Go ahead.
Did I tell about McDonald's too? Or
Just the chicken.
Oh.
We had 17.
I was supposed to, so we wanted Chinese food, and I was on the phone with my friends, and so she asked me to order Chinese food, and so she told me to order $3 worth of chicken, but whenever you order $3 worth of chicken, you have to call it in. You can't, like, because there's like a place where you could like put a memo, but she told me not to do it, because every time she's did that, they don't put the chicken in, like they don't see it. So I ordered the food, and since I was on the phone with my friends, you know, I value my friends more than her at the time. I didn't want to get off the phone with my friends, so I disregarded what she said about calling them, and I was just like, she don't know what she's talking about. I'm gonna type in $3 worth of chicken, and they gonna see it. Like, she don't know what she's talking about. And so I did it, and of course, whenever the food came, there was not chicken in it, and she just got really, really mad, and she was saying, like, you know, like, oh, you, like, she thought I was still on the phone with my friends, so obviously she realized that I didn't call, and she was just, you know, saying that I'm selfish and like that I don't care and like all that stuff. Yeah.
And then that's when I checked your phone.
You took my phone, and they ended up going through it.
I don't know why the chicken motivated me to check the phone, but I went through the phone, and this time my findings were a little different. I think I probably did a deeper dive, because even when I was checking the phone, I wasn't really looking at everything, because, you know, they have all these different messaging apps, all these different social media apps. And so I really was looking, and the stuff I discovered about my daughter, that's when I really realized who Asha is. Like, I didn't even know who that was. Whew. All types of social media rules broken as far as her appearance in these posts. One thing that I always told Asha, you're not licensed. Please do not drive my car, anybody's car. You don't have a license. Even when you have a license, you're not trying to teach her about insurance and how things go wrong when you're in an accident. Do not drive other people's car. Asha was unlicensed, driving her friend's car. Asha was smoking weed. Asha was smoking weed at school. Asha was smoking weed in the car. Asha was telling me that she was going one place and was really going to JoJo's house. I'm looking at pictures of her, and I'm looking at the background like, where is this? What's happening? And all of those, it was just everything in that moment. It just came to a head, and I lost it. And I took the phone, and our relationship started to get really strained. But again, with us, it's always up and down. One thing about Asha is she's just like me. We can bounce back. And I'm just such a softie. I'm going to forgive you, right? You try hard enough, I'm going to forgive you. But the issue that I was having with her is that she refused to do her time and accept her punishment with the phone, because no matter how many times I took her phone away, she would just get a new phone. Talk about it.
My friend, she had like old phones, so like whenever she took my phone, I just used one of her old phones. She had like 3, I think. So I had 2. I used 2 of them, and she found both of them. And then whenever she sent me to New York, I told her, I was like, if you don't let me bring my phone to New York, then I'm gonna buy a new phone. She was like, no, you're not, no, you're not, no, you're not. But I had already been plotting. I've been saving my money and stuff like that. So when I got to New York, the first thing I did was buy a new phone. And that's the phone that I had for the longest time before I got home.
So how, okay, you're getting your phone taken up. You keep getting a new phone. How are you acting when you get caught? And when I'm just threatened again with the phone getting taken away? What did that transition into? If I say, give me your phone, and you tell me no.
like entitlement?
Or I tried to, no, I'm just saying, what happened? I tried to take your phone away from you, and what would you do?
I would like resist, right?
Resist,
Yeah.
snatch the phone back.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, like, at this point in time, I've never experienced anything like this with Asha. And I'm like, what is happening? I asked you for something and you're not giving it to me. I'm physically going to take it from you and you're physically snatching it back. And this escalated because she would have full-on temper tantrums. I'm talking about crying, screaming, cursing. Then she just would bring up all these things. This is how I found out how Asha felt over the years. She would just bring up all of these things, how horrible of a parent I was. Then sometimes she would be grabbing onto me because then she would transition to cursing me out to begging me, holding on to me, please, please, please. And I mean, it started to get physical. And at this time, can we do the poll? I want to see where the community is at because I know that there's a few times where, first of all, I'm a person where I rarely ever want to put my hands on somebody. I will if you hit me, it's always defensively, but to initiate or just having the desire to hit somebody has not happened very many times in my life. But it has happened twice with my mother where I wanted to. And there was one time where I felt like she unfairly hit me and I really almost hit her back. And my friend was there and she saw it in my eyes and she stopped it. I think these polls are anonymous, right? Can y'all?
They are anonymous. And
Okay.
yes, Shawnee, can you check to see if you can launch it?
Sure, no problem.
That's just important for you guys to know because your answers may be embarrassing. I know some of them are for me. So I just want to know where the community is because, we sometimes put control and respect over our children's needs. And we don't realize that sometimes maybe if we just got cussed out one time and we dealt with that, how much how much good it would do within our relationship with our children. So I just want to know where we are in the space as far as you with your mom. That's what these questions are. How satisfied are you with your relationship with your mother on a scale of 1 to 5? Not satisfied, somewhat satisfied, indifferent, satisfied, or extremely satisfied. How strong is your bond with your mother? Is it weak, somewhat strong, indifferent, or I guess that wasn't a good word to use, strong or extremely strong? Have you ever used profanity towards your mother? Yes or no? And have you ever, and let's be clear, because I used to cuss a lot of adults out in my mind. Have you ever verbally used profanity against your mother? And have you ever gotten physical or violent with your mother? Let me say this for you. And while we're finishing out that poll and waiting on results, I see Teresa has her hand up. Can you open anybody else? Because sometimes I know I can't see.
No, just Teresa right now.
Okay. Good morning, Teresa.
Good morning.
Peace and blessing. Good morning, family. How you doing?
Well,
It might be a difficult question, but I'm gonna ask your daughter, how do you feel with your mother saying all this stuff? Because I feel uncomfortable for you, so I don't know how you feel. How do you feel? I feel like it's my mother talking. I'll be like, and I'm saying to myself, why the hell she got to say that to people? That's what I'm saying. So that's how I feel, and I just, well, now you feel, because I feel uncomfortable. So I don't know how you feel.
Thank you for caring about how I feel and about asking. We have had a conversation before this, like about what I care, like what we want to talk about, and I told her that she could tell it all, because if my experiences can help other people and help other mother-daughter relationships, then I'm perfectly fine with that. You could tell anything and everything, so I'm perfectly fine. I don't care.
we are exposing ourselves to expand ourselves.
Yeah.
And
No,
the goal is to make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you said it because I think you're brave, very brave young lady. You and your mom both are brave, but I especially think you're brave because of your age and you're able to, just to be able to say what you're saying. So I know that you're going to bring a lot of healing to people's lives. So I just want to thank you for being so brave. I appreciate you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. And this is one of those things I say, right? When I tell parents, it's usually because they complain about something. You're going to get back what you pour in. But this is one of those instances where I really feel like she's able to get to this point, and it was even shocking for me because of what I prioritize and what I've poured in. I see Desiree. Good morning.
Before we go there, I want to encourage people to fill out the poll. We have had an experience where we have 100% poll filling outers. So let's have that happen again today. We're at 19%. That's up from 17% about a minute ago. So let's not
19%.
19 people, right? So let's go. We have 30 people, so that's 11 more people to fill out. So if you haven't filled out the poll, please fill out the poll.
Fill it out.
Fill out the poll. What you doing that you can't fill out the poll?
I know, right?
Show Asha something. Show that we can get to 100%. Come on, boo family.
All right, Desiree.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Asha, you remind me of my daughter when she was your age. She was spicy and she was completely different from how I was when I was her age. And that made it difficult for me to be able to relate to her. I was very compliant. Whatever my grandparents told me to do, I did it. She was the complete opposite. Everything had to be in the way that she saw it. And she made you know that it's going to be my way or absolutely no way. So that phone situation was probably the first time that I too felt like I was losing my child, because I had a similar experience where I was trying to take the phone from her and she was like on top of me, like trying to grab the phone. So we are literally tussling over the phone, and I had to dig deep to figure out how I was going to deal with this situation. But what I realized was that I wasn't really paying attention to what she was going through in her life at the time, which was causing her to negatively react to me because I was the easiest person for her to do it to.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because I was always present in her life. I was always flexible to whatever it was that she needed in the moment. And in that moment, she needed to get out her frustration. And I was the easiest person to do it with. But I have to tell you, Asha, that you have great things to look forward to. Because like I said, you are very similar to my daughter. And she is awesome sauce today. When I tell you that I learned so much about myself because she knows so much about herself, and what I felt as a challenge during the time is her complete strength. She has the ability to express how she feels, and she is not willing to let anyone disrespect the boundaries that she's created for herself, which I think at your age, it's what you're trying to do. You just don't have the skill to communicate it in that way yet. So keep the focus, continue to be your saucy, spicy self, and you have a great mom that is going to be there to support and guide you through your journey. And I can't wait to hear how your journey ends.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
We have, but before we go to Takia, we have poll results. Would you like to hear them now?
Not yet.
Okay. Takia. Takia, you there? Okay, okay, got it. So you'll start your video later, so come off of mute.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't work this phone because I'm driving. Can you guys hear me and see me?
Yes,
Yes.
beautiful mama. Good to see you.
Okay. I love this topic because growing up, I always felt like they used to target me and my family. Like I was the black sheep. You have middle child syndrome. Why are you so dramatic? Nobody, and they offended me like crazy. Like I just feel like they would ask me, why are you acting like that after they picked at me, after they asked me for help and I extended myself and then they didn't extend themselves back if I needed the smallest things. So my mom, I feel like she enabled my sister. Like I was so blown growing up because my sister would always ask, we get candy. My sister would ask for my candy. I would give her some of my candy. My mom told me, well, stop giving her candy if she ain't giving you candy. And I'm like, why you didn't teach her to share? Why you didn't teach her to share her candy if I shared mine? So I would used to get so frustrated because my mom would just tell me, it's like, stop being so nice, stop being so naive. She would never, ever do the positive way. I feel like she always did the negative way, right? And so I used to get angry with her all the time and stuff like that. We used to argue still to this day. She says, you take the long way around in life because you don't want to kiss a little behind. And I used to tell her all the time, it's not about kissing behind. I am not going to lower myself because of toxicity. I'm going to move out the way. And if that is the long way, I'm going to take the long way, you know? And then I'm not going to say I was the easiest kid because, you know, in school, there is like kind of what Asha's going through. Like you want to be in the loop and stuff like that. And then you want to do those things, right? You want to be in the loop, but then you also is like, would I really do this if they wasn't doing it, you know? So it's kind of like that too. It was just a lot. And I'm 29 and I'm still learning, you know, but I've always yelled. I have anger problems. I'm gonna put me in anger management because it was me, you know, it was me. It was nobody else triggering me. It wasn't none of that. It was me. So I had to go to anger management. And now I have no excuses. Like I always tell people, if this conversation is not serving me, if you can't agree to disagree, I'm out of, like, you know, I'm just gonna leave it how it is, stuff like that. I try not to, and my friends told me that I have like a little bit of my mom's, because she raised me, so I'm gonna take things from her, right? So they say I have like a little her cutthroat talk. Like when she cutthroat you, they say I do that, and I'm like, me, I'm so sweet. They like, yes, and that's what the crazy part is about it. You're so sweet, so when you cut us, you hurt us, and I'm like, oh my god, like, you know, I had to be conscious of that. So this conversation, just in general, is awesome sauce for real, like she said, and I do feel like growing up, you're gonna learn. Like I said, I'm 29, I'm about to be 30. I'm gonna always have to learn, you know, get my environment. I'm always gonna have to learn how to behave at work and just in relationships, everything. You're gonna have to learn how to behave in those situations. So I just feel like she's doing pretty good. I feel like she's doing okay. I feel like she's doing okay because you get frustrated, you know, being a black mom, having a black daughter, y'all do get to be spicy a lot, right? And sometimes you like, why are you being so spicy? Like, all right, today is not it. Like, you know, and then you say it, you do it back to your parent, and they're like, did she lose her mind? So I just feel like she's doing okay. Just don't, you know.
We'll see. Let's go on so we can see how she got here, because you may not agree. You may not say that at certain stages that she went through. Thank you, Kia. Good seeing you, love.
You too.
Oh, Mena. For our last share before we go on.
Peace, peace, peace. Oh my goodness. So Martine, I feel like you and I had the same life, childhood, motherhood. Our stories are so similar. The mother-daughter dynamic is very interesting because as I have my daughter and as I'm listening to you speak and Asha speak, about the experiences of growing up, the challenges, the phone, the addictions to the phone, your response to her, and looking at my relationship with my mom. And after answering this poll, I'm like, wow, there are similarities. I'm not in my mother's household anymore. So we grew up in a very toxic environment, whereas your family was loving and she grew up under a loving family. My household was dysfunctional and have been dysfunctional since high school. So to watch me now as a parent and the other day going off on Aza, I said, oh shit, I sound like my mom. Like I legit was like, so this is just a very great conversation because I realized in me going off on her, I was in a rage mode and I could hear after I stopped and see her response, how she looked like me when my mom would be in her rage mode. Now I felt my shit was justified because Aza failed all her classes. She failed every single class. How do you fail class remote, like learning remote? Like you don't, how are you late 67 times? I mean, like I'm legit about to have a therapy session because I was like, I'm not saying I'm completely healed from it, but I was able to calm down and go to her because I think it's important as moms, and you say this often, that it's important to be able to go to your child. Not to say it was okay, the shit that I was saying, but to just be like, you know what? Earlier today, I know I've said some things that I might not be able to take back, but the difference, and I'm trying to create something different between my communication with you and the way my mom's communication is with me. And I noticed something. I noticed the pattern that I felt when my mom would go off on me like that. And I just want to come to you and I want to say, I'm not completely healed from what is transpiring, but I want you to know that I love you nonetheless. I am working on me. I'm hearing you. You are saying to me, Mom, I never wanted to disappoint you. So for me, once she realized she got a bad grade, that was it. Like it went downhill. And she's like, I never wanted to disappoint you. And I feel sometimes you don't hear me. You only care about how well I'm doing in school. And I couldn't address it then, but I came back to her and I said, I'm not healed. I'm not over it, but I want you to know I heard that. And I'm actually going to step back and I'm going to look at myself and examine and do some things proactively to, kind of investigate her truth, because that's her truth. So I'm very grateful for this. This is showing me so many different dynamics. When Des was speaking earlier, I was like, oh my gosh, like I so hope that and wish that for Aza too, because I could see where she withdraws in as well. And so this speaking, like she heard a little bit this morning as we were getting ready. And I just, I didn't say anything to her about the conversation yet, but she was very open to it. She was like, Asha's so pretty. I'm like, she thought you were 13, girl. I was like, Asha's not 13.
I was just talking about that.
I said, she's not 13. I said, in fact, she's way older. She's not way older, but she's older than you. You're what, 19, 18?
18, yeah.
She's about to be 16. So I was like, no, she's older than you actually. So no, she's not 13. But she was actually listening to the conversation as you were speaking. So, it's a rolling dynamic. I'm grateful for this space. And I noticed some patterns. I was like, damn, you do become the mother at some point, and we're in a completely different household. And I like to think I'm very different than my mom. And I answered probably yes to most of the questions, like yes to cursing out, yes to getting physical. Not that I hit my mom, but I defended myself for my mother hitting me. So I had to grab my mom, like, sorry, I'm a fucking adult. Like I'm in my goddamn 40s. Like you will not be putting I'm sorry, like it's not going down. But I did all of that. And it's sad sometimes because it just made me examine and look at myself like, I don't want this for my daughter. And that's one of the scariest things. So I'll circle that up in therapy today, but I'm very grateful to be here.
Oh, thank you.
Hear it.
Thank you for your share. And you guys are going to have gone in your shares to where I'm going, especially when you question, how do you fail all these classes in the house? That's a good question, but we ask it in frustration. We're not really looking for an answer, but there is an answer to that. And that's, I want to do an exercise, even though we're at 7:34, I want to do an exercise where we kind of look at an alternative way of thinking about parenting, not even parenting, but thinking about it, and then so that it can kind of guide your steps in a different way. So before we do that, I want to go into the poll results, but I don't know, admin, help me out, because you know what's so crazy? Right now, we're exactly where we left off last session. Supposed to talk about her dad and her trip to go with her dad. So admin, let me know what we're looking at with time, because we're not done. But it's 7:30, so anybody who has to leave 8:30 Eastern, anybody who has to leave, I understand. Thank you so much for being with us. Catch the playback, but if you can stay, because I really want to finish this out. So
Martine, you know where we are. We're at pending part 3. There's spots in August, so you're good for that. But the poll, I can read the poll. You can decide how you want to move the session along.
Okay, so you know what? We're gonna have to do a part 3. Let's do that. So this is a good point. She's like, well, you can do it from school.
Oh,
you have to work your butt up.
Wait. When are you leaving, Ash?
next Saturday.
All right, because we have a slot on Sunday if y'all want to jump in. Sunday morning, the 7th. Yeah, y'all can do the part 3 sooner rather than later if you're down.
All right, y'all gonna wake up at 6 a.m. on a Sunday for us?
That's you wake. Oh, they do. We have wake up anyway on Sunday. Whether
I know. I'm talking about this crowd here. I don't know.
All
if it's the
right.
same.
Drop in the chat if you're willing to come and hang on Sunday morning with us to complete this conversation or continue the conversation. And Ash, I didn't hear you say yes, so don't be forcing her to do something if she's not down to do it. So Ash, you down?
I'm always down.
Don't even lie like that.
Yeah,
But I'm glad.
That's what you get.
She gonna make me be down.
Hey, that's your mama. All right, so I'm putting y'all on for the 7th. So thank y'all. Love it, love it.
Beautiful.
Asha said she's always down. I heard we could put her down for every Sunday.
From college.
Yeah, don't play. They gonna call your bluff. Oh goodness. Okay, so poll.
Yes. All right, first question. How satisfied are you with your relationship with your mother on a scale of 1 to 5? And well, it's somewhat even, but not 29% is not satisfied, 21% is somewhat satisfied, 33% is more than everybody, and that's satisfied, and 17% is extremely extremely satisfied. So it's kind of balanced. How strong is your bond with your mother? I have a weak 17%, somewhat strong 17%, indifferent 17%, strong 38%, extremely strong 13%. Have you ever used profanity towards your mother? 38% yes, 63% no. Have you ever gotten physical violent with your mother? 25% yes, 75% no.
25% yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, 25%. That's major. Do I have a brave soul who got physical with their mother at a young age? Can you come talk about it? I see Desiree in purple too. I'm gonna come to you guys.
They might, so be out of Desiree and Purple. Okay, Purple just lowered her hand. Desiree, are you a yes? If not, then I will, okay, thank you. So who would like to share if you were physical with your mom? Teresa?
Well, my mother was beating me and I snatched the belt from her. And by me snatching the belt, her arm got broken. So that was very challenging because she was doing my hair and I don't know, something. And I just got mad because I just felt she was snatching my head. And so she went to get the belt, she was like telling me to be still. And so I snatched the belt. And when I snatched the belt, it broke her arm. So I had hell to pay after that because, the arm got broken. But she was just very aggressive with me. So I guess I was just, she was very aggressive with me. And so I guess I was like stopping it that day. And I remember when I was older, I would tell her, when I got older, I told her she wanted to hit me. I think I was like about 35 years old, 40 years old. And I was like, don't hit me because I'm hit you back. So that was the first time I actually, said to her that I was going to hit her back. But I had been feeling like that for a long time, but I actually felt like I would do it that day. And so not too long after that, I moved out, because it was just constantly like very abusive. We had a very, she was very abusive and physically and verbally abusive to me. So I was like, okay, that's enough. But many times I thought about hitting her. But that particular day, when I was 30, I actually, like gave her like a warning, like if you hit me, you're gonna get hit back. So, it's not a good feeling to feel like that because I never, wanted to hit her, but I was just fed up. And so
Okay, so you're saying fed up. I'm here. What do you think the driver for you to even be able to like seriously consider putting your hands on your mother? Is it defensively or is it offensively, and like you're standing up for yourself? I mean, which could be defensively seen as defensively too, but I mean, the difference what I'm trying to differentiate from is, oh my gosh, I need to stop this from happening, from this not
yeah,
going to happen to me anymore. I'm standing up for
yes,
myself. I'm about to let you
yes.
know that's
Yeah,
where it came from.
that's where it came from. Yes, definitely where it came from. It was like I can't take it no more because it's like it's been happening so long. And I didn't really like my father. Like, oh, my father would say, "Listen to your mother," but he didn't really listen to us to say what she was dealing with. Not only that, we didn't know that my mother was schizophrenic, so we was dealing with a parent being schizophrenic. So that was, we found out maybe like 5 years ago, and I was very angry with my father because I was like, "You knew she was schizophrenic, so like, why the hell would you leave us here and just let us fend for ourselves with her?"
Yeah.
So I've gone through a lot of stuff, because of that, because being angry with him and just, being angry with even family members said to us later on that my mother was not mentally well and she would like hide us. Like we couldn't go out the house. So we thought it was normal. We didn't know that it was not, normal, but like sometimes we couldn't go out and, different things like everybody else. And so it was weird, but I'm glad I miss my mother a lot now. I wish that, she was here, but it was challenging. It took me a long time even to get to these love feelings. Doing Be the Tree is what helped me give her grace.
Yeah.
Because they bought us some stuff from Be the Tree. I was like, oh shit now. So
Yeah.
actually they asked some questions.
Don't say anything because I definitely want to talk about that. That help. I'm here with you with that.
Yeah.
That helped me so much, and that's one of the things that I feel like should be part of prenatal, not prenatal care, like preparing for your baby to come into this world. Absolutely, you need to definitely at least be at peace with the relationship that you have with your mother. Thank you so much for your transparency. I know that it's hard to say. I know that some people in the space can't help to judge because again, we come from that culture where no matter what, you do not disrespect your mother. And on the other side of that, what happened with Asha and it started off defensively. I can say if I try to put myself in her shoes, I looked at her starting to get the nerve to be physical with me as defensive at sometimes, because sometimes I've had to physically restrain her. But I also felt a shift in that, and even with that look that I told you that she gave me at the wedding. From that day on, I knew that my child was capable of putting hands on me, and I prepared myself from it. So in part 3, we'll go from there, but I want to give you guys a little homework, and if you guys could give me share screen capabilities, I'm so sorry, but and if y'all would just take a screenshot of this, try to fill it out. I'll give you time on Sunday too, but I think that it's such a shift from what we're used to, that you'll need some time with it. And I would like for y'all to get as much of your feelings out and put as much as you can into the exercise for when we meet on Sunday. So can y'all do that? Can I give y'all some homework and commit to being here on Sunday? So I put this together just considering my whole experience, and therapy was major in rectifying Asha and I's relationship, because I mean, it just got to a point where I was like, I don't want to be a mom anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. That's honestly how I felt. What, you looking like that? You never heard that before, huh? So I want to do this exercise. And so if you guys would screenshot this and work on it, what I started to do is I started to verbalize what the undesirable behavior was. And of course, mine has a lot. I just wanted to give you guys a model. So let's use disrespect, because that happens a lot. I'm sure everybody on here who has a child, your child disrespected you at least once. No matter how good your look is, you know how some people say, I don't got to be my kids, I just got to give them a look. No matter how effective that is, you've been disrespected, right? So I want you to fold your paper up in fours, or, you know, draw lines. And the first column, I want for you to put the undesirable behavior. The second column, I really want you to sit and dig deep and think about what the possible source is. And when you're thinking about the possible source and you're thinking about all these things, I want you to consider yourself and how you act, or what you expose your child to, how that could be a possible source. So one of the things I could put here that I didn't, but I should have, is my example. So possible source could be my example. My daughter has seen me disrespect my own mother. She's seen me disrespect other people. Other things I put: underlying issues, lack of discipline, and then I put age appropriate. And we'll get, I really wish we could have got into that now, but there's a lot of things, and I'm gonna give you an example of a toddler. You know, you always have, like, we live in America, and one of the depictions of a toddler is with the bowl of spaghetti on their head and they're throwing the spaghetti, right? And when we see these depictions, our culture says, I wish my toddler would. I would, right? When other cultures are like, right? And it's because I feel like we are not educated on child development and the milestones and what is age appropriate. When kids play with their food and throw their food, when toddlers do, that's very age appropriate. They're actually meeting certain milestones. So that's what I mean when I say age appropriate. And disrespect is age appropriate in a sense. It depends now, I'm going to take this with a grain of salt, for teenagers, because they're trying to feel the world out and push certain boundaries, right? They're adjusting. Then the third column, what he or she may need. Okay, so step outside of yourself. Stop operating in ego. Stop making it about yourself. What does this child need, perhaps, that's making them act this way? So examples I have is attention, empathy, or good ass whooping. Okay, for those of you who subscribe to that. All right, let's just be real. Think about, you know, and I really want you guys to brainstorm. So you can put things that are toxic on here, but just sit and think about it until you evolve your answers into things that are more productive or alternatives. Then the last column is for tools. And I want you to think of all sorts of tools, okay? I put humility and love here, okay? Because sometimes we have to humble ourselves. Sometimes we have to make the reason for the disrespect priority over the disrespect. And I know that's hard for us to do as parents. Therapy too could be a tool. Just maybe an intervention from an outside person. Sometimes, you know, we have that godmother or somebody that we could turn to and we can send them to, because that person has a better communication with them. Whatever tools you can think of. So if you guys could fill this out for Sunday, that would be great. And then we'll go on from there, and we'll pick up at where Asha got physical. That's where we'll pick up. You agree?
Yeah.
You'll be here Sunday?
Yeah.
I hope you don't have to work Saturday night. All right, tell her to be up and bright-eyed. What's she tell?
I just come home at 10.
All right. Thank y'all so much for your transparency and for your shares, especially with that poll, because I know that was hard. But I do want to talk to you guys more too. Can I take 2 more shares? Because I did, Desiree and Purple had their hands up. I do want to hear from you guys. I just wanted to make sure that we wrapped up strong.
Sure.
Desiree, I saw your hand first. Do you still want to say something?
Yes, I did. I was just thinking about like the share that Omena had and how she was able to connect what Asha was saying to what she was experiencing with her own daughter back to what she was experiencing with her mom. And I just wanted to agree that these types of conversation are important because a lot of times we have such a major struggle because it feels in the moment like you're the only person going through it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's what makes it so much more difficult to deal with because you're just thinking like my child is the way she is, and, like not having anyone else to be able to relate to. And I know this is mother-daughter conversation, but I would say that the experience that I had with my daughter and being able to come out of that successful helped me develop a stronger communicating relationship with my son that came after her. Right. So it's just the experience, right? Experience and exposure that helps you have clarity on how you are contributing to the situation that you are dealing with. Because like one thing I realize is that, like when you're looking out into the world, you see everyone else but yourself. That's reality. That's not even just, like something that I'm saying. The reality is you can only see yourself if you look in the mirror, right? But hearing other people express their experiences kind of gives you that reflection that you need to be able to come out of this situation successful. And I'm complete. I just wanted to share that.
Well, thank you. It's really important to what you're saying because and you said that you were able to be a better parent to your son, but that's only if you were able to resolve it, right? You could have been worse, right? If it wasn't resolved, you could have been strained, tired, have nothing left to give your son because you come to him with an empty cup. So that's why these conversations are so important too, because everybody is not afforded that. Omena just said that she still has some struggling, and I'm telling you, Omena, like your whole share, it's like the structure of this session. So thank you guys so much for seeing that, because these are conversations that are hard to have. It's hard for us not to be judgmental. It's hard for us to come outside of our experiences. It's beautiful when we can connect and say, oh, I understand what that person's going through. And then it's hard to say, man, you put your hands on your mother? I would never. You would never. But what was the difference? The difference down to even to how you and I are made up, your coping skills versus my coping skills. And then sometimes too, maybe that ugly thing has grown me into a person where it would have helped you. That may sound crazy, but it's the truth. I believe in getting the ugly out and us growing from it rather than being stifled. So I'm not encouraging y'all to go put your hands on your mamas now. I'm just saying, let's keep the open and non-judgmental space. Purple, you still want to say something, love?
Good morning. I don't remember why my hand went up. I was upset at the moment with my mother, and
oh, at that moment.
At that moment, the universe would have a difference. So this is my mother. Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
How are you?
Looking like
this is her first time back on the East Coast since February 2020, since the shutdown.
Oh, wow.
And last year she kicked cancer's ass. And
here,
right? And so this is her first time also on Wake Up Everybody. And how would you describe our relationship?
Up and down.
Yeah.
We don't always agree. And I'm old school, and she tries to get me to open up more and do more, but I'm kind of laid back and I do it when I feel to do it. And she sometimes forgets that I'm the mother, she's the daughter. But that's what mother and daughters go through. We don't always see eye to eye, but we love each other anyway, in spite of all our craziness.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Asha,
Oh
and
my
thank you,
God.
Martine.
Thank
Because
you.
I was able to, what I was over here, I forgot the camera was on, but I was over here getting it in with her. And she said the right thing, the roles. Now I go to a trauma therapist, and what my trauma therapist said is I was what you call an adult child. So they got me to be independent by age 6. And they didn't realize that also meant from them, right? So I was out and learning from the village. I consider myself raised by the village, and therefore I had many teachers, and I took the lessons that I wanted to take. And when I looked at them, I did not want to use some of the things they taught me. I wanted to use what I wanted to use, and that was what served me, because I looked at their relationships with their parents and their families, and I could hear them, but I could also see them. And what you all did was have me ask my mother questions. And I asked her, did she think I grew up in a loving environment with my father? And did she think I grew up in a loving environment when she got with my stepfather? And this is the first time I ever asked that. And she said, I didn't. And now I don't live in her home. I live in my own home. And during this visit, she's staying with me. And I was able to invite her to what I believe is now the loving environment I created for myself. And, you know, adult daughters are who we are. I'm an adult woman. And so what works in my home that I learned about a loving environment looks different than her way of having me do things. So this visit has had me practice boundaries. I've been reactionary at moments, and then I've let go. Kind of when I see her sleeping, I go, wow, she's here, because I wanted her for 2 years. And then the challenge is, I think our culture, with us not understanding trauma and not healing trauma, and different generations not accepting that so many might have mental illness, and that's an adverse childhood experience. So with me pulling up trauma work, there's things that I just have to do for myself. And there's things I can see that maybe my mother has no awareness of. And this is another part of the journey to be healing, to have a healthy relationship, or accept. Sometimes I get resigned and I go, ain't gonna happen in this lifetime. Ain't gonna happen. So the moments where it's cool, I enjoy it. The moments when it's not, I have deep sadness, but I notice, thank God for the trauma work and thank God for Woo, it doesn't hurt as bad as it used to. I feel way lighter. And I appreciate y'all for this again, just simply that question. Anything you want to say?
I have a question for you, Mama. So coming into this space that she's describing as a loving space and direct, don't let me put words in your mouth, Purple, but I guess contradiction to what she said she grew up in. How does that make you feel?
She asked that question right before, and I had said to her that she said, do you think I grew up? I said, somewhat, as much as I can provide, considering that I didn't feel that I was growing up in a loving. I was always picked on, called names, beat more, punished more than everybody else. And I spoke up in spite of it. Sometimes got slapped a lot in my mouth because I spoke what I felt and I didn't care. And sometimes I would just say, well, you know what? I don't care. They can do what they want to do. But when I grow up, I'm going to be different. And I try very hard to be different with my children. You know,
you did your best. You're resolved with that. You did your best.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Okay. So now seeing her evolve from that, and how does that make you feel, being in her space and what she's considering a loving space, a more loving space even? How does that make you feel?
I'm dealing with it, and I'm showing more respect and accepting that she's an adult woman, and sometimes I don't need to always voice my opinion or judge what she does, and that's okay. She is who she is, and I always have been very proud of her. She's always stood up for herself, no matter what. If I liked it or not, she always just did, and that's who Shakira is.
Are you
You know?
proud of the environment she's created?
Yes. Yes.
Have you told her?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, we ain't
I
gonna
don't
think
know.
you could do it right now.
I don't know because we haven't really talked much because
Tell her right now.
this-
Take the opportunity right now from her Wu family. Tell her you're proud of her.
Oh, she knows I'm proud of her. She knows I always support her. She knows that. She knows that. I'm always there for her. But sometimes she doesn't like, she thinks that I always have a second, well, is it going to come from, do I have to pay you back or this, that, and the other? You know, she always go through this with me. But if I say I want to help you, I want to help you.
Mama.
You know, so that part we haven't gotten settled yet.
Mama.
You know, even what she's going through now, you know, and stuff, I'm going to be there for her. And I'm not going to look for anything in return because that's what we do. You know, yeah, it's not about, you know, she thinks it is because I'm always talking about money, but it's not that I'm talking about money because I give out so much and get so returned, but then I'm learning to say that it's okay because I'm blessed to be a blessing. So, you know, I have to stay in that mindset and God will give it back to me anyway, because he always does. When I don't even expect it, some things pop up and I'll be like, wow, you know, that was you, you know?
Do you experience my home as a loving environment?
Yes. Yes. I
So
mean,
now I'm gonna ask you one more time, Mama. You listening?
She's more organized than me, and I love that about her. You can find things in her house, which I can't find in my house. And she's a very good organizer, and you know, it's loving, it's caring, and you walk in there, it's a good environment. It's a good environment.
And you proud, right?
Yes, very
so
proud.
Look at her and say, I am proud of you. That's all I want of you.
And I love what you have become and who you are.
Thank you. I love you and I appreciate your support on my journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I respect, and I'm learning to respect your process is your process.
Yeah.
You are still on yours as well.
Yes.
That's it.
I'm a hoarder and I'm a clutterer, and that bugs the hell out of her.
Oh my God, never in my lifetime has she said that. Who is the truth?
Well, the truth
Who is the truth? Who is the truth? I learned, do not try to not be like your parent. Because if you try not to be like them, you will be like them, right?
Yeah,
so what
your brain is gonna go back to what you know.
Don't try to
not know what to do.
So you have a hoarder and you have an organizer.
I kind of agree. I kind of agree with her to a certain degree, because I think that every family that, you know, none of us are perfect, so we all make mistakes, right? But I expect for her always for her to do better than what I did, and she has. Okay, and I have done better than my mother, but there's certain rules. I said I will not have 14 children. I will not. I will work. I will, you know, I will support myself. I will not depend on a man. And those are things. Those are boundaries that I set for myself very, very young. And pregnant at 17, sort of like you know, I was in high school, and the first thing they want to do is get you married and this, that, and the other. That was his side. And my mother, going through what she went through, she said, no, you're going to go back to school. I'm going to watch this child, and you're going to go back after your 6-week checkup, and you're going to finish. And was it a fight? Yes, because I wanted to keep up with my 2 girlfriends on the block. I wanted to graduate with them. They didn't get pregnant, I did. So I had to go to summer school. I had to do it, and I did whatever it is, and we all walked down the aisle together.
Wow.
And I never got married because then I saw there was more to life. I ended up going to college, which I didn't even expect to go to. But I did go to a community college in 1971, LaGuardia Community College. And that was the company I retired from after working 40 years.
Ashe. Well, thank y'all so much for sharing. Thank you for bringing us into your home. Thank you, Mama, for appeasing me. You know, we always say they know, and we always talk about wanting them to do better and why they shouldn't, what we for them. But sometimes they just need to hear us say it. I'm proud of you. I love you. So thank you so much. I know that felt good, Purple. I love y'all. All right. In classic Martine fashion, it is 9:04. 23 people still on here. Thank you for rocking with me. And I hope to see you on Sunday. That was a beautiful way to end this. Thank you.
Great work, Martine. Love you. Have a wonderful day.
Love you. Love you too. All right. My contact information, phone number, Facebook, and email is all right there. We're also going to drop it in the chat. Get in touch with me. I'm looking for partnership. I love doing this. I just love how I've evolved as a facilitator. I remember telling Shawnee, I don't have the credentials to be talking to nobody or doing any of this. I don't, and she said, come as you are. Your experience, your passion is enough. And it has proven to be so. So thank you so much for letting me grow in this space. Hey, Stacy, I see you. Love offerings and donations. People, money makes the world go round. We need it, we need it, we need it. If you really love Woo, put your money where your mouth is. If you enjoyed this session, throw us some dollars. This thing over here, she's going to college and she's been sucking me dry. Oh, just all these things for her room and everything. So if you would like to bless us today, do so. And so as well, Spirit of Woman programming as well is so important. If this is really valuable to you, give back, put your money where your mouth is. Zelle and QuickPay. You can use soulleadershipdevelopment@gmail.com. Cash App is $ Spirit of a Woman. There's a Cash App link there too that will also be dropped in the chat. And if you want to make sure that those donations go to us, some of them, use code #643MM. That's specific to us, 643MM. The donations are respected, honored, and appreciated. Yes, Asha will be going to Prairie View University this fall. This is an alternative to just making a donation. You can do both. Sometimes I have my automated donations go in, and sometimes I give an extra blessing to whoever the facilitator was. But if you don't want to think about it and you want to make sure that you doing this as make it a bill. I always say things that you care about, make it a bill, especially nonprofit work and work such as this. Not that this is a nonprofit, but work such as this. Let's honor it like we do our other expenses. So you can choose to pay $25 a month automatically. These are automated payments. $50 a month, $75 a month, or $100 a month using these links, these bit.ly links. All right. Woo love 25, woo love 50, woo love 75, woo love 100, and just automatically come out of your account every month. Easy peasy. Coming up next, join us on Wednesday, August 3rd for Mind Games facilitated by the beautiful Gina Lito Joff. See, I put the pronunciation there, it disappeared. The lovely Gina, please join us tomorrow for her session, Mind Games. And then on Thursday, August 4th, Kiara Harris will be facilitating the workshop entitled "Wanna Really Be a Boss? Healthy Tips and Tricks to Get You There, Part 2. So if you missed Part 1, go on the Facebook page. That link is going to drop. Go search Kiara's name and watch Part 1 so that you'll be updated for Part 2 of Wanna Really Be a Boss.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Martine. And so new members, this is your first time. I know we have at least one new member. That new member was gracious enough to come on and share part of her life. Really, really appreciate it. Grateful, humbled. That being Purple's mom. And I'm sure that there's other new members out there. We want to honor you and welcome you. So don't hide. You might not be able to come on video now, but you can definitely type in the chat, "I'm new," so that the Woo community can gather around you and give you their love. So welcome. Thank you for joining. Come back again. We're here 5 days a week, Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 7 to 8:30-ish. And Monday and Wednesday, 7 to 7:30. And I'll put an ish on that as well. This is Woo. We do what we want to do. And we are on Zoom and streaming live on Facebook. So there's different ways that you can catch us. And if you want to be reminded so that you don't have to think about it, but you will receive, a text alert, you can do this right now. Set it up. And you will go to your text, a blank text, type in 74121, In the comment section, type in Rule Nation, press send, and then you will be in our automated text message system to get a reminder about 6:30, thereabouts in the morning. And we have swag. So you can get your merch by going to bit.ly/Rule Swag, find something to represent. It has Wake Up Everybody on it. It's a talking point for anyone who's curious. So you can get a thermos, you can get a mug, you can get a laptop sleeve, a bag, a journal, a mask, a sweatshirt, a t-shirt, all are one, and for yourself and for others. bit.ly/Rule Swag. And please stay in touch. We have multiple ways for you to do that. We want you to register on our email list, and the way to do that is to type this in, bit.ly/Wake Up Movement. Of course, these links are dropped in the chat, so you can just click it. When you go there, fill out the little form, and then you'll be in our mailing list for the week. So this is something to do every week so that you can get you get updated on who's coming up for the week for that next week. And our lineup always changes, so you want to be right there, front and center, to get the information. And we have two Facebook pages. One is private, one is public. The private page is bit.ly/Woo Community. You can go there. If you're not a member already, you can fill out the little form, and then someone will approve you, and you'll be in the space to receive all the playbacks and any other conversations that facilitators will drop in the page. And then we have a fan page, which is, you will go to bit.ly/Woo Nation. Woo Nation is uppercase, and you will press like and share, of course. Instagram, Wake Up Everybody Virtual. YouTube, bit.ly/Woo on YouTube. We have email at info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. So please do send us a message of any kind if you are so moved. I'm stopping the screen share. I'm going to ask everyone to unmute, and we're going to use this time to give Martine our love messages in the form of a love shower.
And Asha.
And Asha, yes, right, Martine.
Love you, Martine, Queen Martine.
Thank you, Martine, for the great
Thank you,
presentation.
Asha.
Mwah.
And it was awesome and very necessary. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
everything
Stay
that you
awesome.
brought to the table,
Thank you.
and
You are loved.
just
You are
gave me the
needed. You are
opportunity
desired.
to
Thank you so
congratulate
much
myself.
who you are,
Wonderful
for
time.
who you
Your
is,
new
and
series,
who you
Asha,
are
and
for the
I wish
world.
you
You are
For
for your
y'all getting have a
child to
blessed weekend
parent
and be on the
their
lookout.
coworkers. You are
Good night.
amazing.
Mwah.
We
Thank
love
you.
we
you.
love you.
God
Can't wait for
bless.
Thank you,
Sunday.
Val.
You are amazing.
Hey, Creative.
Thank
Hey,
you. Love him. Love
Peace
you.
and
Good night.
love. Hi,
Abundance.
Purple and Purple's mommy.
Thank you so much for this
Thank
moment of
you.
reflection. I really appreciate everything that you
Thank you,
made me feel
Desiree.
in this moment. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Peace and love, everybody. Thank you, Martine.